What's going on, guys? So doing this little video here on basically, how to maybe tune up your, cheaper, eBay, Amazon, tattoo machines, different things you could do to, make it work a tad bit better. So I have 3 different ones. I'll show you right off the bat here. Got this guy, and then this was a eBay frame that I modified. I'll get to that in a bit. But so to start off, what I did was change the springs here. As you can see on this one, I'm running a 20 gauge front spring, 18 back, and then I changed, actually this one I didn't really need to change anything for, coil spacing or anything. It's, you can see it's doing it nice and even, just the way it should be. This was painted. I painted this because I had it on something different and I put it back. But this one, actually, this was a Amazon machine. The springs it came with were alright. I mean, for being a Chinese spring. But obviously, there's a big difference. This one was not painted, so I didn't have to do any sanding or anything. I'm not sure what the frame is actually constructed out of. I'm guessing possibly maybe aluminum, because it has a steel yoke on the inside. If I take these screws out and pull the coils off, there's a steel yoke. But I have to say, this is heavy. This is very heavy, actually, for a liner. But so there's that one. I'll get to that in a minute. And this would be for a shader. These things with, painting the frames and all that stuff to make it look good. Yeah, it makes it look good, but when you're building them, check. Like under this one, I take the penny and all that off. I sanded this all. You can actually see a little nick mark I did when I was sanding. I went too quick. Again, with the coils, I took the coils off, sanded down the frame so it's bare metal. Again, changed the springs. I got 16/16. This one's set up for a shader. I have my contact point back a little too far, but if I have it any more of an angle, it doesn't want to run right. Another thing that you need to look at is your armature bar. You can see there, I'm just a tad over to where I would have liked it to be. But it does run fine. Same with this one. This one is actually nice and even. But if I put a tool in here, I'll show you that. Alright, so I got my tool for our alignment. As you can see, it is pretty far back, so this would probably be best with a complete 2-inch bar. And the next one, this was a eBay Chinese frame that was pretty much the first frame machine in general that I ever did anything with, and tried start tattooing in general. So this was an old frame, and I just kind of collect them, and I was like, what, get some stuff and kind of make something out of it, just for shits and giggles, I guess. So I ordered a pair of 8-wrap coils. I kind of drilled the armature bar out to lighten it up, and the springs I've changed, and that's pretty much it. I mean, this, if you ever see the eBay special tattoo machines, the ones that kind of look like a dragon, this is what it was. I took this middle section out, took the little horn thingies and mouth and eyes and all that stuff. I took that all off just to give it a little more sleeker look. But I'll hook these up and show you how they run, and things you could possibly do to make your machine run better. So put these to the side. First we'll set up this liner that I got. Now this is all going to be unloaded. So alright, so I got this all hooked up. This is running unloaded at 6.4. So you see because it is a cheaper coil, the duty cycle flexes around a little bit. The same with the CPS, but I mean, that I probably won't even run it. This would probably be something like if it was loaded. So there's that. I'll go ahead and hook the shader up here. Alright, so I got the shader hooked up here. Run this at 5 volts, unloaded. So again, as you can see, because it's cheaper frames, you don't really know what kind of quality they're made out of. The duty and CPS jump a little bit, but it's got a nice heavy hit. I'll hook up my other one that I built just for shits and giggles, I guess, just to have. I don't use it, I just have it just because. Alright, and here's the other one that I built just kind of for shits and giggles, and just mainly for storage, like, show off, just. This is a liner, and that duty cycle is ridiculously low, but it's fast and it hits fairly hard. Some of the things I could have changed were, having a little bit of a longer contact front spring, but hey, it is what it is. I don't use it. It's more or less just for show. But if you're going to do any tattooing in general, okay, make sure before you start doing it on any real skin, okay, get yourself obviously a kit. Most kits usually come with fake skin or whatever. Get a couple of those. Get some pig skin, whatnot, and just practice. Read stuff, look up stuff. And you really want to start into this hobby. Sorry, hobby for me, a business for you. Get an apprenticeship, because you're gonna learn way more from a master of tattooing than anything, unless you're doing it just for fun and shits and giggles, or a hobby, kind of like I do. And then you could start, building up and doing things, building your own machine, having custom coils built, or wrapping your own coils. This one I had purchased coils that were hand wound from a amazing person that builds coils and frames and all that stuff. But just the difference in the cheap versus a real one. That's 7 volts, 48 duty cycle, 148. Look, it don't jump around crazy. So that's the difference between having good quality machine, that you built yourself, like I did with this frame, or buying something on the lower end and starting there and slowly just build it up. But I'm not saying go out, buy a kit, start tattooing your buddies, because You can screw up a lot of people's skin doing it that way, and infections and all kind of crazy stuff that you don't want to get into. So if you're gonna do this, practice, and just get an apprenticeship. You know, if you want to make this, you know, a life, you know, career for yourself. So, all right, so that's just a couple things I wanted to do on, you know, things you could do to, you know, sprucing up your cheap Chinese machines. So yeah, I'll have another video on what to really look for when buying them. You know, some little things, or if you purchase them already, to look for to see what's good and what's not. But all right, you guys have a good one, and leave some comments down below.